All right, so we're ready for week 7, lesson 3. And because week 7 is a test week, this would be the last lesson for this week. And we are going to be talking about concavity, concave up and concave down. And it's kind of a shorter lesson, so there's only 2 things that I'm going to go through, and that is figuring out concavity when you're looking at graphs, and then figuring it out algebraically using the second derivative. So I graphed a regular function and then the derivative function so that we can look at both of these. When you're looking at a regular function and you're trying to figure out where it's concave up and concave down, you're simply looking at the shape. And so when you see the shape that kind of looks like a cup, so going to about right here, that cup shape is going to be concave up. But then when it switches, so from about here and it switches, then that piece would be concave down. And then notice somewhere right in here again, it switches, and then this piece again would be concave up. And they're pretty good about putting dots in there to show you kind of where it's switching. And so right about there again, that would be concave up. And then notice that right about there, it switches again, and then you kind of go the other way. And so then that would be concave down. So when you're looking at the regular graph, you're just looking for those cup shapes. Concave up, concave down, concave up, concave down. So that's pretty simple. And they'll kind of give you the points to be able to put that in interval notation. But you're just looking at shapes. When you're looking at the derivative graph, notice that this is slope. And so you're looking for increasing and decreasing. And so you'll notice right here that we're moving down, 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 down until right about here. And then when you get to that base, it's going to start going up. So right here where we're moving down, 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 that's going to be concave down. And then notice that right at the bottom, here we switch, and then we start going up, 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 up. So this piece right here, where we're moving upwards, that's concave up. And then it's going to switch again right here, and it's going to move down, 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 down. And so this piece right here would be concave down. And then it switches right there again, and then that starts going up, 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 up. And so that would be concave up. Okay, and notice the difference. If this was a regular graph, then this whole thing would be concave up because of the shape. But this is the slope graph. This is the first derivative. And so instead it's going down, 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 concave down, up, 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 down, 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 up, up, up. So it's different, and you've got to keep the two straight so that you know which one you're looking at. They're both pretty simple, but just don't get those mixed up. Okay, and then the other thing that you're doing for all the other questions, there's, like I said, only the 2 things, is using the algebra, using derivatives to figure out where it's concave up and concave down without looking at the graph. And so as we do this, I want to make sure we understand the difference between these. So if I find the first derivative, I'd multiply that 4 down, so that would be 28x cubed. Multiply that 2 down, so that would be minus 8x. That's technically x to the first, so multiply that, and that would just be negative 8. And then if I find the second derivative, 28 times 3 is 60. 24 is 84x squared, and then just minus 8. Okay, so listen really carefully, because I want to make sure as we keep going that you understand what each of these do, you know, because math just kind of builds, and so we have to keep it straight. If I set a regular function equal to 0, I'm finding intercepts. I'm finding where that graph crosses the x-axis. If I set the first derivative equal to 0, then I'm finding the max and min value. I'm finding those extreme points. I'm finding where it's increasing and decreasing. But if I set the second derivative equal to 0, then I'm finding the concavity. I'm finding if it's concave up or concave down. So don't get these two mixed up. This tells you increasing, decreasing, and this tells you concave up, concave down. And so it's really important to keep those straight. So once we have this equal to 0, I'm just going to solve it. So I'm going to add the 8 over and divide by 84. So I would get x squared equals 8 over 84. And I can divide both of those by 4. So that would be 2 over 21. And then I'm going to square root both sides. So x would be positive negative root 2 over 21. And then just like we did for max and min, exactly the same. I'm just going to draw myself a little number line. I'm going to put those values on here. So I have negative root 2 over 21, positive root 2 over 21. And then I'm just going to pick points to plug in. So here I'm going to plug in 0 and then maybe 1 and negative 1. If I plug in 0, I just get 84 times 0 minus 8. So that would be a negative. And if I plug in 1 or negative 1, either of those, I'm going to square a 1 or a negative 1, which is just 1. And 84 minus 8 is a positive number. So both of those would be positive. And then I'm not doing increasing, decreasing. Instead, this positive simply means that this section is concave up. And this negative means that that whole section is concave down. And this positive means this whole section is concave up. So remember, we're finding that concavity. And then they're going to have you write your answers in interval notations. So if it asks where it is concave up, then we would say from negative infinity to negative root 2 over 21, and from root 2 over 21 to infinity. And if it asks where it is concave down, that would be this middle section. So that would be from negative root 2 over 21 to positive root 2 over 21. Okay, and that's it. This lesson really just has those two things, either the graphs or the algebra, to figure out concave up and concave down. I hope that helps.